What's up, everybody? Berserker Bear coming to you with a little bit of a sidebar, different than my normal bushwhacking Tartaria, but still research of Tartaria and a little bit of anomalies with old pictures from the American prairie and old city pictures from America in the late 1800s. And I will show you where I'm pulling from. I'll show you a quick tutorial of this page that good friend here, Autodidactic Campbell, set up on MeWe. I'll leave a link in the description. Anybody could post. You gotta make a profile, but anybody could post here. We like to keep it topic specific. This is what we're going to be going over today. This book right here, Picturesque America, Volume 2. Get you a copy right here. And I'll show you where I pulled this from. 1874. Now, it's 1874 in here, so keep in mind that the depictions in some of these scenes that we're going to be going over, which are very, very, very interesting, and I'm just going to show you what they look like, and I'll give you my take on them. And that's what it'll be. And it will also be a little bit of a tutorial for you to see how you can move around on this page that Campbell set up, autodidactic, for us and our research. It's a serious research thread. That said, we want it just to be topic specific about research for Tartaria, resets, mud flood, missing time. We want stay away from the political zeitgeist, away from the Corona zeitgeist. We don't want that here. We want this to be a release from that, release valve from that, a place that provides substance also, that which you can also provide and contribute to the research. That's a big part of this too. You can just peruse pictures if you want. You can look up this stuff just like this. That's the picture. That's the book that we're taking it from. I grabbed that information from this website right here. Something's going on with this page, the Wayback Machine. Again, one of the reasons why Campbell started this MeWe is because stolenhistory.org, which is what this used to search, is no longer working. So archive.org still works, and this search right here still works. And you could just, for example, type in something like I recommend you make yourself a profile. For example, then you just look at old stuff, and there's be old books, 1904 Larkin. Just a real quick little tutorial on how you do that. I do recommend that you get a profile. Just as easy as putting an email in and verifying it. Same way to get into this thread and contribute to the research, or just look around. But we ask that you be professional, be respectful, and contribute to the research, or read it and learn it for yourself, or ask questions. You can leave comments and everything. You can add a picture. It's very easy and very fluent. Adding pictures is very easy. You just add it, copy and paste it. You can add words to it. That's Campbell's latest from Autodidactic. Excellent video, as always. And we're going to be going over this thread that I posted right here. We got about 42 pictures to look at, and we'll do some other searches also. So let's get into it. I posted this thread past couple days from a book called Picturesque America. And again, it's from, what do we got here again? I keep on forgetting. 1874. So let's get into it. Give you a brief little rundown here. What they're showing is they just go over scenes in America, and they tell you exactly what it is. Now let's open this up. It says, my comment was built out like this in 1870s America. That kind of leads out to posit where we're coming from with this. Because if this is 1870s America, 100 years prior, 1776 is when the country was founded. one of the theories that we have with the mud flood is that all this kind of stuff was here when they came over. You know, John Smith and the Indians and all that, and even go back as far as Columbus. We look at, and when I say the build out, I mean that the old structure here, the old structures here, looks way older than 100 years. This looks like ruins. And also, all the way up here, you have this rotunda with pillars, top of a mountain. And I mean, what's that there? An antenna? We say Antiquitech. You know. This is the kind of stuff that's very, very anomalous. You have old ruins in America looking like they're literally, you know, you could say, I understand that it's a sketch of a scenery, but it's in a realistic book. You can look that book up. It's about natural sceneries across America. So they're going to be depicting the real stuff that they see. And you got to use your discernment. But what I'm trying to say is, you're coming across stuff like this in America. Imagine fishing, being this guy fishing. That's how I think. You know, I'm a fisherman, so I'm like, you know, I'd be trying to lay my hook right about there, you know. But I just would have to ask myself, how old is this stuff? You know, that's we're not making any definitive statements here in the mud flood reset Tartarian research. At least I'm not. It's just super interesting for me to look at this stuff that's in our own backyard. Now I'm populating all the pictures that I posted on here just like that, and now they're all available. Again, the site's very fluent. Open up a picture, and here we go. St. Mary's Church at Cold Spring. And we're not going to go into the detail of each site. You can look that up yourself and go look and see and reference for yourself. That's another thing that I want to do here. We're just going to look and see these cool pictures and show you how anomalous they are as far as I'm concerned. You know, as I say in my humble opinion, that is. So you got a Tartarian build out here, Antiquitech structure. Is that a weather vane? Not sure, but it gets a lot better, guys. Now, keep in mind, this is America, late 1800s. Philadelphia and its suburbs. Here's where it starts getting real thick, guys. Now, what grabs my eye are the bridges. Familiar with rivers? I have to know how. I made reference to the caisson laying in my last, and I really have questions about caissons. Any engineers, architectural engineers who are watching this, who have video of how they would actually lay a pier like this, for example, take this information, understanding what time period this is, and apply it, for example, how they laid the piers in the Peace Bridge, what I posited in my last video. How did they do that with the precision to make a straight road on it? How did they do that? I'm dying to know. I have not seen any pictures. I have not seen any footage of caissons being laid in water. I've seen it done on land where they're digging into water below, but they're on terra firma above. And you see stuff like this in the old world. We call that the old world build out. It's with such grandeur that we don't think that we made that within 100 years. That's what we're saying here. This is America also. It's all America, actually. Philadelphia. Look at the build out. Now, some of the pictures look like they could literally be from like Venice, France, or Europe. But the narrative would say This was all built out like that since, oh, 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So 200 years. It's quite possible to have city build out like that, but I don't think that with horse and carriage, what they're showing you right here, that they can actually build spires like that. Okay. One of the questions that we have in this research realm of the Tartaria reset mud flood. Here goes the waterworks stuff that I'm extremely interested in because I have the Niagara River here. That's what I really want to get into with you guys. Now look at how the arches are in the water. Similar to my last video. Reference that. I really highly recommend the Niagara Falls one. Again, that John Levy shared. Thank you again, sir. But look at the build out on this. And what's this structure right here? Is that some kind of pyramidal structure? But I mean, guys, you got to see, you got to, this is Fairmont Waterworks. There you go. There's waterworks that they had in Buffalo. There's a waterworks structure underneath the Peace Bridge in the Niagara River. And that's another anomalous structure that they say it was the old waterwork intake for the Black Rock. How was that sunk? How is that not eroded right now? It's constantly being bombarded with 12-mile-an-hour current from the Niagara River. You can look that up on Google Earth. It's the waterworks. So this is another anomalous thing that I can't see. That waterworks structure is connected to the Massachusetts pumping station directly underneath the Peace Bridge, where on the American side. Okay, we're in Fairmont Waterworks right here in this picture, but there's waterworks all over the country in these industrialized old Rust Belt cities. And we don't know what they were. They're also the H.G. Ward pumping station in Buffalo, I believe, is connected, has a tunnel connected to that Massachusetts pumping station. As a matter of fact, we'll do another video on that, but I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, and we'll do a little bit of firing from the hip. Yeah, I mean, look at that, guys. That reminds me, these little things, this reminds me of that dam that was in Niagara Falls that I went over, the Schulkopf, how it had I mean, what's going on here? Or the Marley machine that Campbell did, autodidactic did. This is America, though. How did they, horse and carriage technology. And then on top of it, you have the Antiquitech in the background. You also have a possible spire back here. Boy, I really question a massive building here, back here. I look at this and I question everything. Let's see if she loaded up. All right, so waterworks. Okay. The Peace Bridge, let's just revisit that a little bit. The structure underneath the Peace Bridge is right there. This is what I'm talking about. Always been anomalous to me. But they call that again, the name is very vague, the waterworks. And this has a tunnel, I believe, from here to here, the Massachusetts Avenue pumping station. Of course, they named that something very vague too, right? A street name. Where on old maps that I should have had actually referenced right now, but I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. This is called the waterworks. There's maps of old Buffalo that this part of the river is actually referred to as the waterworks. Okay, so something's going on with water. I believe there's a tunnel here connected here to here, and there's definitely also a tunnel confirmed in the schematics that I went over of the H.G. Ward pumping station, which is right here. And this is Old Tartary too. I want to do a more in-depth on this building. Boom, you got that. And this is now the water intake facility for Buffalo. You got earthworks here, round holes that Michelle Gibson has done extensive work on. And you have Tartarian build out here. Now, it's interesting, the schematics of this I referenced also earlier that there's a water intake crib out in the middle of the opening of the river. There it is, the water intake crib. That's it right there. Another Tartarian structure, I believe. There's current there too. Now, in here, there is definitely a tunnel from that thing to that H.G. Ward pumping station. Now, there's definitely a tunnel from here to here. And then there's a tunnel from the Waterworks or the H.G. Ward here to that Massachusetts one, because it's in the schematics. There, I have schematics saved in my bookmarks that show the schematics of this, and it has the pipe leading out here to it says intake carriage, and then it has one going out this way to the Massachusetts Avenue one. So there's tunnels around here, and it is related to these waterworks that are all over, possibly related to aqueduct technology and the Marley machine technology that, again, Campbell went over. I mean, look at this. This looks like Venice to me. Boy. Got a little family here, or a picnic going on there, having a great time. Let's keep it going, because there's certainly some more. I'm not sure if you can read that, but it says Philadelphia from Belmont. So I think Belmont's a hill maybe, or a city or a suburb south of Philadelphia. I see aqueduct. Okay. I see aqueduct, and I see build out of old bridges, man, old world bridges. Like, what was going on here, guys? You see the build out. Almost looks like a castle back here. I'm sorry if you can't see my cursor. I'll work on getting a bigger one for you. But look at the build out. Guys, it looks like castles. This is a United States, late 1800s. Wait till you see some more of these pictures. It's absolutely fascinating. You got waterworks. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any for you guys. I got a bunch of them to go through. Hopefully I can get it in for you. Bellows Falls. Okay, that's where we are. Bellows Falls for your reference. I encourage you to reference and go look at this stuff. Now, that's what I do when I'm doing my research. Look at it now, obviously, and I have some examples of that coming up, what I do. Bellows Falls here. What I'm interested in is this old foundation and the old piers. Look, there is timber here, but there is old stone. And it looks like they're almost like patching it up. Almost like they're repairing it, shoring it up, because it's been there for a while. More than 200 years. I mean, this old stone. And then with the towers, this is very interesting. Now we're in Baltimore here, and talking about renaming of things and changing the way things are named. This is a book referenceable from, I believe you can reference this book in the Library of Congress as well. It's that legitimate, and again, I showed it to you in the title of it. We'll do that again. But this is what they're calling the Washington Monument. Hope you can see that or read that. It does say the Washington Monument down here. When there you go, John Smith. That's Pocahontas, right? I believe. So that's what we're saying. We're saying that, this stuff was here when John Smith came over and met the Indians. That's one of the hypotheses that we have, I should say. Be very careful with my wording. And yeah, that's the Washington Monument. I mean, excuse me, that definitely doesn't look like the Washington Monument. So what do they do to the Washington Monument? And is that the pool there too? Is this the outer pool? And this is all dry? They inverted it. Did they invert? That's the whole inversion. Change this thing to the phallic of Nimrod, and looks like there was a pool around it, and then this was dry. Now this is, if that really is the monument, the Washington Monument. Now this is wet, or a pool, and all around it's dry. That would be what you call the inversion, folks. Baltimore from the east, 1870s, towers everywhere. Here you go. I mean, now I'll show you what this reminds me of. Look at this. Baltimore from the east. Okay. Look at the size of this building. Massive. You have people here in the foreground, okay? You get scale across, prairie land. That building is absolutely, has to be massive. You got towers. Towers. What is this? You know what this reminds me of? I'll show you what that reminds me of. Now, doesn't necessarily look like a wall, but it could be a wall, like a city-state. And this is all built out city. John Levy has went over this extensively, UAP, and how these cities just look like they've been organically built over time and not over 100 years, 200 years set up as shanty towns or for the Industrial Revolution. There's not smokestacks. These are like Antiquitech. There's some smokestacks here and there, but look at this dome back here. And how far that is in the distance and how big that has to be. Horse and buggy technology. Now what caught my eye is this thing right here. And let's do a little side. This is what I do now. Things that I make associations when I see things that look similar to what I've looked up before. And let's just open up a new search and go like this. Yeah, wiki. Yeah, look at that, guys. That's Bologna, Italy. I think sometime 1400s. Look at these towers. Unbelievably impressive. Now, if this is an artist's depiction of reality, which is what we believe it is to be, old city-state, okay, Star Fort-esque, Bastion Fort-esque. Look at the build-out. Look at this. I mean, they just look like the gates of Babylon. I shouldn't even say that, but, massive, the size of them, just for comparison. What is that? So, yeah, I see that. And, boy, this is America. This is Italy. They look similar. It begs the question of what was going on, at the very least. Now, here we go back with the water. Roland Dam, or Ancient Earth Waterworks. I'm sorry, I should put where this is from. You guys can look up the Roland Dam. But when I say earthworks, yep, there you go. I mean, this looks like earthen work here, a weir. This looks like a water weir, or maybe a dam. Actually, maybe not a weir, because that's real big. But you have brick here. Changing, there's levels going on. Canal system. Look at this old tunnel system. Maybe there's water coming out of here. Very complicated, very intricate work going on here for the late 1800s, in my humble opinion, as far as canal goes and everything. And that's one feature of the Tartarian Empire that we think were big time into water and everything. Were canal, the railroads that we see. I posited before that, and I think maybe Michelle Gibson might even agree with me that I think all the old canals or the old railway systems were canal systems. And when I see stuff like this from an accredited source, or at least a referenceable source for American history, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but oh, sorry, that's touchscreen. Forgot to show you guys that. Got a little touchscreen action going. Yeah, it begs the question. Sorry about the gnat flying around. So we were here, Rolling Dam. Now let's go back to Pittsburgh. And again, what's catching my eye now is the water. What's going on around the water? So this says Pittsburgh from Soldiers Monument. Obviously Industrial Revolution type stuff, possible grain mill stuff. But I mean, look at how the size of this bridge compared to these buildings. I have buildings similar still in Buffalo along the Niagara River, shaped exactly like that, and I've went over them before. Just like that. Actually, I just noticed that right now. Because last time I was looking at the bridge with the piers. Bridge with the piers. Old world bridge, suspension for sure. But old world looking brick, looking old world. And also the spires, the Antiquitech, the Industrial Revolution going on, you know, right next to the beautiful, what we'd call Antiquitech, possibly grabbing the energy from the aether. Big, massive building up there. The scale of some of this stuff is just so impressive that I would love to see it. You know, with how I like to get out, boots on the ground, it would just be such a treat to see all this old stuff. Here we go, City of Cincinnati, 1870s, fully built out old world stone bridges and Antiquitech spires. Let's check that out, huh? Spire and an old world stone bridge, similar looking to possibly the Brooklyn Bridge, but as you can see, this is on the banks actually. There's nothing in the water, but just if nothing else to show that you got spires here, Antiquitech going on along with the Industrial Revolution. Oh yeah, this is what's anomalous to me too. This doesn't look like a bridge here. This looks more like an oil pipe to me. Anybody has any information on that? We're looking at the city of Cincinnati. It says right here. Sorry if it's so blurred out, but I'll help you with that. Have a bridge here, old world style looking bridge, some old church looking spires with Antiquitech. But what is this feature right here? See where my cursor is? What is that? Oil refinery going across the water? Like a tube? Not too sure. Didn't do any research on that. It's more just let's look at some gravy type of video. And gravy it is as far as I'm concerned, because again, I look at the city of Louisville, 1780s, with a bridge like that. Look at these pictures, guys. Look at that bridge. The Industrial Revolution tech with the old world. I mean, in my opinion, is what I'm saying is that I think that we came upon these pillars and we probably built those bridges on top, the truss and the cantilever bridges. That's certainly possible with at the time frame we were building the buildings in New York City. I certainly believe that building the truss bridges over the top is doable, even with the Peace Bridge. I have a hard time believing that they can sink these piers though in water, especially when the water has current, and especially when you're not putting forth any legitimate pictures in a time period where there should be on a construction endeavor that's massive and should be recorded. That's another thing, like the Smithsonian that's gonna be in here too, guys. Actually, it's actually very interesting that they popped their head in here, to be honest with you. Again, tipping their tipping their hand, if you will. Because, you know, what was it? Storm Area 51 a couple years ago. Remember that? I'd say, I'm not down with that. I'd say storm the Smithsonian. Now we get into some possible melted Tartarian sedentals with what the Tartarian Meltdown channel does, and the Eagle Eye crew, the Spartan Red, When the Buildings Cried. I respect those dudes, and they're definitely onto something. You know, we're all looking at the same thing from different angles, and I do think there's a number of things going on, because I think that they possibly are melted buildings, from what the Eagle Eye crew guys call the X Factor or the Reset event. Okay, but I also do think that there were Titans also, giants that also got petrified. But yeah, you got some different activity going on here. Now, I'm not a geologist. I am not a biologist. I'm a researcher, a very interested party. I know enough about general science, though, with a lowercase s, to be able to make a general assessment applying discernment. I know the sedimentary, the rock process of igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic rock, and how the cycle, the process and everything. I understand that process, and I just don't buy it sometimes with the way the till looks. Just, you know, it's either, to me, it literally either looks like it's melted stone buildings, or it literally, like Wise Up, another OG, a shout out to Wise Up. He's straight up one of my, another researcher that I look up to big time. Wise Up will say that that's possibly, that it's not possibly. Wise Up is saying that he believes that it's wood. Petrified wood, and it most certainly could be, because petrified wood does have that mineral look to it, does look like rock. I actually have some, I think, possibly right here. Sure if you guys can see that. I don't got my flashlight down here, but it looks like it. I got some cool rocks. I got another rock too that's for stellium 7. Don't tell me I don't have it. Okay, yeah, I do. Stellium 7. It's in my inspiration. This one looks like a little heart. It's got the 2 nods on the top. It's got the shape to it. Could be a little heart. The 2 nodules. It's got the 2 little things. I can start. Oh, there you go. You can see a little better right there. Maybe not. I strongly encourage you to watch Stellium 7's take on the Mont Go. I always mention that, and like I said, that relates here, because, you know, I have questions on what these are. Could be melted Tartarian citadels. Could be petrified wood, and some of them could be Titans. I think Mont Go in Spain, southern Spain, the one that Stellium 7 goes over, is a Titan. And we're going to round this one out, and I'll do a part 2 with you coming again right now.